Ladies and gentlemen of the school board, my name is Scott Barger. I reside at 717 Turkey Valley Road. I would like to begin my comments by saying that I do appreciate the work that you're trying to do. It is not a small task to organize and fund and govern and plan for the education of our students. And so, in as much as your efforts are in that realm and towards that goal, I applaud you and I thank you for your efforts. To the teachers in this room, likewise, thank you for working hard to educate our kids. For the parents in this room who are concerned about the quality of education our students are receiving, thank you for taking time out of your evenings to be here today. A lot of people aren't. These things are all good. The proposed policy that is before the board this evening, I think, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous because it's necessary. Who would have ever thought that we would be here today trying to figure out whether or not it's okay for a teacher to bring pornographic material to school? Who would have thought that it would be necessary to articulate in a policy that maybe, just maybe, this is a bad idea? Who would have thought that it would be required by school board members who should be spending their time on other things to sit down and spell out why it's not a good idea to broach subjects such as gender identity, sexual orientation, or to bring sexually explicit material to school, that maybe that shouldn't happen. Who would have thought that this is a necessary thing? But here we are. Now, I wish this policy wasn't necessary. I think it's stupid that we're here as a society that you have to do this. I really do. I wish that we could trust that a teacher would know better. But I guess there's at least one that doesn't. She doesn't understand that this is wildly inappropriate. I'm shocked that I got to stand here for the first time in my life in front of the school board, though I've had kids going here for 7 years, that I have to spell this out to educators. So, in the spirit of educating educators, let me remind you of something. You're not the primary educators of our children. The parents are. You have demonstrated to us, at least in part, that you're wildly unqualified to make these kinds of judgment calls. Completely unqualified. So yes, you have brought this upon yourself. We have to come up with a policy to keep teachers from bringing pornographic material that my 8th grade daughter is going to see. Okay? You have brought this on yourself. Shame on you. I wish you were better than this, but you're not. You're not. You have been measured and have been found wanting in your role as educators because you can't figure out the most basic forms of common sense. You do not understand the role of parents, or you do not care about them. Likewise, this teacher. She either doesn't understand that this is inappropriate, which makes her unqualified to teach, or she doesn't care that this is inappropriate, which makes her unqualified to teach. So I guess if my choices this evening are to be an intolerant fascist or defend spreading pornographic material in front of kids, I'm going to go ahead and call myself intolerant fascist. I guess that's me. I don't know. If I got to pick, that's the one I pick. I don't know. I just don't like porn in front of kids. Maybe you do. If you do, quit your job. Which really reminds me, when I think of public servants, when I think of public servants, oh, quiet. You're going to be okay. Or maybe you won't. Or maybe you won't. Which reminds me of this, when I think of public servants not doing their job, elected officials not doing their job, it reminds me of, thank you sir, it reminds me of this quote by English philosopher and theologian G.K. Chesterton, who said, "It is terrible to contemplate how few politicians are hanged." Thank you for your time.